thought today would be a nice day to do another Chatty Get Ready With Me video. I like making them. You like watching them. This might also be because I'm pushed for time. But that doesn't really matter when you're getting a video out of it, does it? Again, I'm using the OCC skin tint, a highly controversial product that I use for understandable reasons, but I'm still getting through it, so I'm still using it. And it's the closest thing I found to the Glossier skin tint. So for those of you that don't know, I just kind of do a get ready with me and have a chat. You go get yourself a cup of tea and you enjoy it, hopefully. Or hate it, that's absolutely fine as well. Preferably don't tell me in the comments. So yesterday, I worked on my New Year's resolution by switching off my social media and watching two things. Two whole things. I watched the first Bridget Jones film and I watched 2 episodes of Chasing Cameron. For those of you that don't know, I assume you all know what Bridget Jones is. If not, you can Google that. But Chasing Cameron is a brand new Netflix series following the tour, the MagCon tour, kind of fronted by Cameron Dallas, who is a YouTube and Instagram and Vine star. And I've seen loads of YouTubers tweeting about it recently, so I thought, you know, I'll give it a watch. Support my people. And it was actually really interesting, but I think it was more interesting coming from a perspective where I've seen a fraction of what goes on behind the scenes at stuff like this. And obviously on a smaller scale. Well, no, not obviously on a smaller scale. I mean, I saw what was happening at VidCon, and I've seen it in 2013 and again in 2016 when I was actually more involved. I found a lot of stuff super interesting about the show, but a couple of things particularly stood out to me. And bear in mind, I've only seen 2 episodes. It might change entirely. Now we're gonna go back onto my Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I desperately need to buy a new concealer. Also, don't use your contour brush to blend that. That will not go well. So something that stood out to me initially, and this is not a particularly insightful assertion, was that MagCon involves the guys, it's something like 8 guys, they go and tour, and whilst there are performances going on, they're doing meet and greets. MAG stands for meet and greet. And they do talk a bit about how exhausting meet and greets are. And when I first realised that they were meeting and greeting people, like hundreds of thousands of people every day, I was stunned, because something I've learned relatively recently, like in the past year, is that meet and greets are exhausting. I don't know how people do them. Beforehand, when people would say they were tired after a meet and greet, I'd assume that was just from kind of, you know, having worked all afternoon. But no, it's a different level of exhaustion. It's so tiring. You're trying to give your best self to every single person you meet, and that's one person every 20 or 30 seconds for hours and hours. It completely sucks the life out of you. You want to give every single subscriber, fan, whatever you want to call them, a really good experience of meeting you. And it's evident that no matter what we do, whether we're the Cameron Dallas of YouTube or, I don't know, the Lucy Moon of YouTube, that unanimously everyone wants to make sure that those people who have waited in a line or people who have come up to you on the street have a positive experience. And not because the creator wants the subscriber to tell everyone how great they were, not at all. It's literally a common decency thing. I should always justify this stuff because people seem to think I'm bragging. I'm not bragging at all. This is all new to me, and I enjoy discussing it with people because I watched it as a creator, but not as anyone with an audience. And now I experience it, and making that transition has been really interesting for me. You know, it was stuff I was curious about when I was just a creator and a viewer. God, I'm so not feeling my contour application onto the blush wheel. And it's important to remember as well that I am the biggest extrovert that I've pretty much ever met, other than maybe Hannah and Lena. How on earth introverts manage it is beyond me. I have so much respect for people that can manage that, because they're not doing it to please themselves. Got a bit of glow, not much glow, a bit of glow. Got myself a new brow pencil yesterday. Let's see if this works. Oh God, that doesn't look like it's going to be dark enough. Oh no. The other thing that really interested me was that the show doesn't actually show them all in a really good light. It's executively produced, which means that it's, correct me if I'm wrong, people who know better than me, but I think it means it's funded in part by all of the people who were on MagCon. Not all of the people, but like Cameron and the manager guy. So they're credited as executive producers. They clearly had some control, a fair bit of control probably, over what was being created. And yet they show them in quite bad lights in some ways. Like, the manager guy sees himself as a father figure to Cameron, or so he says, and Cameron's like, no. They show the tour going wrong, but like, not in a good way. They show that shows are being cancelled due to lack of organisation to an audience of people who probably bought the tickets and are seen crying, and the people who will then watch the Netflix show. They're showing people how bad it was organised. They're showing some of the guys who are the talent, like kicking up a fuss and basically being divas. I just couldn't get over that dynamic of it, because to compare it to a similar concept, if you've ever seen the One Direction film, I think it's called This Is Us, that is incredibly contrived. Like, it's enjoyable, but they are all shown in the best light possible. There is nothing controversial. It is very much a tour diary. So to then see something like this come out to an audience of people who they want to be blindly supporting the boys seems quite interesting in a way. And I wonder if it's going to be like that Lil Wayne documentary where eventually someone gets sued for poor representation or for slander or whatever. You know, I'm not feeling glowy enough today. I'm gonna pop some more stuff on my face. All with fingers, because I don't have a highlighter brush. By the way, this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector poured in Moonstone. And the whole thing does feel quite contrived, but that's how these documentaries are meant to feel. It's reality TV. Ultimately, it's reality TV. But it just surprised me so much that they were so so eager to show them in anything less than a really positive light. But maybe they're going for like the Kardashian kind of thing. You think they're all assholes, but then you also see their lovable sides. I'm using the Tarte in Bloom palette. This is a gorgeous palette, not the best colour payoff. Just so you know. I don't know if the fans are going to be happy with that portrayal of the boys they've spent money to go and see. I think YouTube culture is fascinating. If you hadn't already realised, I'm well into it. And hopefully when I eventually make some rad documentaries, I will cover a lot of stuff within YouTube, because it's just so interesting. And I also love tour diaries. I don't know if you've ever seen G-Eazy's tour diaries, but they're absolutely phenomenal. And they're all on YouTube, so I'd highly recommend you give them a look. But I just love tour diaries so much. So the combination of doing a documentary style tour diary is just my fave thing in the world. Some days I'm good at eyeshadow and some days I'm absolutely shit. But hey, we're here now. Now I'm going to put some firecracker on the corners. That's what the eyeshadow looks like. I'm not going to pretend it's good. Now I'm going to do my liner. I use Supercat liner from Soap and Glory, but I'm going to lean into my mirror and do that. So see you on the other side. Again, these are not my best wings either. I guess this is just... You know, there are some days where your makeup goes on perfectly and you're just like, this is the dream. And then other days, it just goes on wrong. Today's a wrong day, but it's going to be fine. I also wanted to talk a bit about Bridget Jones, because I quite like Bridget Jones. I'd never seen it before. Sorry, I'm just rummaging for my... Where is it? Where is it? Oh, my speaker console. So I really enjoyed Bridget Jones. And that's partially because I can relate to it a lot. But watching it now reminded me of something my friend Lex tweeted a couple of months ago, which was like, oh, watching Bridget Jones, you can tell it was filmed in a different time. Smoking indoors, London house prices where you could afford a whole flat to rent for yourself. And it's so true. That London is unrecognisable. And when was that filmed? Like 2001? Dem eyes though, dem eyes. Yeah, it's funny relating to something like that because I'm in a time of emotional what the fuck. Emotional what the fuck. And so watching something like that is actually quite comforting in a way I have not found rom-coms comforting before. And I love a good rom-com. Rom-coms are my favourite kind of film. But I don't usually relate to them. And then I watch Bridget Jones and I'm like, oh God. But then it's the same as, don't mind me. But then it's probably on the same wavelength of me relating to Mia Thermopolis in Princess Diaries because I totally get her. Or I did at least when I was a teen. Does this freak you out? This freaks me out a bit that I'm able to do this. I'm still using the Tarteist mascara. I still don't really like it. But when it comes to budgeting at the moment, I'll just take what I can get in terms of makeup. So I hung out with Dodie and Tessa yesterday and they told me about the Enneagram personality trait categorization thing. And I found it really interesting. I love personality stuff. I'm an ENFP/J, and on the Enneagram scale, I guess it's a scale, I am a 9. And with all of these personality tests, I always fall into the category of creative, poorly organised, daydreamer, etc. Like that general, happy, optimistic, that is me. And because I'm working on myself at the moment, I also am seeing where those are strengths and where those are weaknesses. Because initially I always thought they were very complementary characteristics, but now I'm more aware that I can be even better than that. However, something that really drives me nuts is how poorly organised I am and how I don't have much willpower, which is also why the alcohol thing has been so hard. For the record, I don't know what to call myself. I don't know if I'm an alcoholic. I don't know if I have an alcohol problem, if I'm addicted, if I don't even have a problem at all. Maybe I have a willpower problem. I definitely have a willpower problem. So yeah, one of the things that I really struggle with is organisation, and specifically, just all organisation, nothing specific. I'm trying really hard to get up in the mornings, and at the moment I'm kind of halfway there. I'm getting up at 8 and then I'm falling back asleep. So I need to work out a way of combating that. And I hate it. I hate being disorganised because it causes me more stress, and I get super stressed. I haven't organised my finances in months, literal months. I haven't called up HMRC for ages. Like, I need to do all of these things, and I also need to make a video every day, and that's stressing me out loads because I also have my cousins staying sometimes, and I also have people I want to see, and I want to see Rosianna and Tim before they go back to the US, and yet I'm not free in the day, but I have to make time. I just don't really get what's happening at the moment. Everything's really stressful. And I don't deal with stress very well, and I know if I get organised I can deal with stress, but it's not that easy. It's very hard for me to organise myself. I used to just blame myself for that and be like, why don't you just do it? And it's not that easy for me, and I have to just accept it and work with it, and that's okay, because there are plenty of good things about me, but I just fit that stereotype of creative that should not be the production manager so well. I just want to make things all the time. That's all I want to do. So veg is really therapeutic in that sense. Or moonuary, whatever we're going to call it. Oh, God, my eyelashes are bad today as well. Oh, my makeup looks okay, doesn't it? Now my face is so colourless. Lipstick. I think we're going to go really simple again today. How boring. I need new lipsticks. If you've got any recommendations, let me know. I'm still trying to use up Velvet Teddy, so let's pop some Velvet Teddy on. This is my go-to when I'm feeling low-key because... although some people will be like, a matte lipstick? Low-key, are you joking? Liquid lipsticks are so high maintenance. So this is just, whoa, pop it on, done. And to moisturise my lips, I've been using Rose Lollipop by Lush. I love Rose Lollipop. It smells like sherbet lemons. Let's take these out. That's cute, isn't it? Thank you so much for watching my Get Ready With Me video. Wasn't very different from last time, but... maybe I'll do something radical in the future. Let me know how you're enjoying veg in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for another video.